Well, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you're lucky enough to be doing it to, I'm Bushka on Blitz, back with another dose of love, affection, and feverish tanking. You can see I am giving it out Supremacy style, telling people what to do, where to do it, all that kind of thing. You might think this is a bit of a toss because I am in fact camping, but I'm not just camping on the back of dead rail or something without a view of a cap or the ability to support my teammates. I am in fact camping while looking at two different caps, and both of them are going to hopefully belong to the green boys. Rich has pushed up on the left and taken that, and we've got some blokes who've pushed up on the right and taken the B cap. Now, we're now in a really strong position, and the team's actually playing pretty well. The team's playing for the win. The team is not playing for damage and kills. The team is playing to keep the caps held and drag them out, Supremacy style, which leads to some pretty fun gameplay. I'm just keeping an eye on the right-hand flank here. Now, Supremacy is a brilliant concept. It's something that works exceptionally well when it works. And as you all know, like most of Blitz, when it doesn't work on a grand scale. In fact, when it doesn't work, it's an absolute pain in the ass. And the reason being that there is nothing worse than playing a Supremacy map with a whole bunch of humans who think they're playing an encounter map. And unfortunately, that is often the case. Just the other day, I was playing with Josh, I think it was. We were on Temple, and I was in an IS-6, and we were guarding the two caps that we held. And the red team was on the other side of the temple, all in front of me, camping. And they stayed there. They never pushed up. And none of our team pushed up on them because we knew it was a Supremacy map and we wanted to win. And we won by like 800 points, and only one tank was blown the hell up because the Reds were absolute numpties and all they did was camp. Now, this is not camping. This is tactical support. I've got greens on my right, I've got greens on my left. And they're basically doing their level best to hold the flags. I'm in a Grille 15, the big gorilla. And the Grille does not really do very well in the front line. Now you saw that shot there. That's a real issue with the Grille and the waffle tractor. If you're aiming over the flanks of this tank, like the waffle and the Grille, and you hit the flanks, you will find quite often that the shot just goes absolutely nowhere near where it was meant to go. Now we smacked that waffle tractor, the waffle tractor, very nicely. Now we've got three caps. Even though we're tanked down, these guys keep capping. They're bloody lovely. Playing it really well, this green team. How often do you see this though? That's the problem. One of the good things about playing in platoon on Supremacy is you can always rely on your platoon mate to do the right thing. And Rich is having a cracker of a game. He's not doing much damage, but he's spotting targets where he can. He capped that D cap there that you can see on the left bottom right-hand side of the screen and has held it the whole time and will not relinquish it and will not go out and die and give them an extra 30 points. I was saying 50 points the other day. That was incorrect. It is 30 points. And you can see I'm just trying to reset the cap here. I get 2 free shots on the E100. We're very close to a cap win. We're only 1,000 points out of it, so I'm not going to move anywhere at all. Get another shot in just a wee while. There we go. And we're very, very close to the win now. We've dropped the adrenaline, 5 tanks to 2, but because our guys played that so solid, they played it for cap points, they played it for the win, they didn't play it for the damage. We're going to come out of this the good guys. And we were about to kill this guy as well, this E3. He was going to. And we've won it by 240, despite the fact that we were 2 tanks to 4 down at the end. That's what you want to see. Now, that's the Grille. Grille is very quick. The Grille has a great gun. The Grille can do big alpha. What do you do if you're into Supremacy and you've got a big ass TD? A barge ass, as they like to say in Hollywood. No, they don't say that at all. I just made that up. Well, that's what I've got. I've got a Jagpanzer E100. Rich is saying cap base C, and I agree with him. that is a freaking great idea. If all the mediums go the hill, I'll go and take base C, and we'll live forever in Valhalla as champions and warriors and the Grateful Dead. Whatever, I don't care. Onwards and upwards, we're going left. Why? Because obviously some maps are built for medium tanks, and some maps are built for heavy tanks. Fort Despair, for instance, there is a cap there that is built for heavies. And there are two caps that are really easily defended, the B and the A. C on mines is not built for meds. It's built for big ass TDs that want to roll up and smack people. And that's exactly what we're going to do. There's an Object 268 on the other side of the field here as well. And we're just going to angle around, try not to take shots. Manage to take one on the track. And then we keep on pushing onwards and upwards. And this is the problem when you're facing a cap situation like that and you miss your shot, you've suddenly got a huge dose of alpha coming at you. Now the 54 is on the other side of that cap and he's pulled back. We are bullying forward. We're side scraping off here. The 54 knows better than to muck around with a Jagpanzer 100 in that kind of close proximity, and he's buggered right off. We've got the Object 268 out there. That Type 61 unfortunately has really pushed way harder than he should have. I've signified I'm on the old reload. And there is an Object 704 on my right. In case you didn't know, I am not alone at the dance here. I am actually with a very nice BL-10 holding tank on my right hand side. And so we move up again. We've capped C. We've pounded some ass over here on the left, and we're now going to move back towards the main part of the battlefield. Now, people say that there's nothing for Jagpanzers and all that to do, and that's just not true. If you've watched any of the Supremacy videos, you would have seen me in big TDs, but you also would have seen me pushing and moving and being mobile on the battlefield, because big TDs aren't just for camping. Big TDs are for getting out there and pressuring caps, either trying to recapture or stopping people from getting caps. If you can get a Jagpanzer 100 overlooking a cap so that no one takes it, and your team already owns one cap and the other team has no caps, that means that for every second you have that cap and the rest of the team and the Reds don't have any, you're getting closer and closer to a win. And that's what a TD like this can do. It is an intimidating big bastard. It is not something that you want to be mucking around with, because as you can see, these two IS-7s don't want a bar of me. This thing is an absolute monster. The Grille is a different TD, and you probably saw the way I was playing it. Overview of caps, support fire, quick enough to get around the field, and that's what you should be doing in it. The Jagpanzer is not quick enough. You've got to go for the right caps. The B cap was not the go in this one. The fast mover caps are not the go in this type of tank. You've got to be looking for caps that you can sneak up to, push, side scrape around and hang about. C on the C cap on Desert Sands, for instance, is very much a cap for a tank like this. The Temple area on Temple is absolutely a cap for a tank like this, and not always to take it too, sometimes just to prevent. And that's what we're talking about in this particular map. This is the FE4202, and I'm saying A and B, and the reason I'm saying A and B is very, very important. This map, Winter Malinovka, for instance, is another one. There's a lot of caps that share a synergy. If you can take one, you can very easily take the other one or hold the other one. For instance, on the Desert Sands map we were just talking about, the C cap is very much a heavy TD cap, but if you can take that cap, then you're a chance of taking B, or at least stopping people from taking B. And you're seeing, I've looked at this, figured they're all going to take C, and I'm going to jump up and try and sneak B in. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now I'm going to take one for this IS-7, but I'm not going to give up hope. I'm going to move behind, and I can see that they are capping C at the moment, and they've got a bunch of mediums, so they're probably doing it with a medium. And as soon as I cap this, I'm done and dusted. There we go. Now after this, what am I going to do? Well, this is where you've got to be very, very map aware and be very, very careful, because what I'm doing now is not putting damage out. What I'm doing now is trying to stay alive while stopping them from capping the B cap. Now the synergy on these two caps is obvious. A and B together work very well, and you've got to look all over the place for these caps. Port Bay, for instance, the A and B cap on Port Bay are exactly the same. There's an IS-7 behind me, there's a T-62A on my left. I just missed getting away from that shot, so I'm sidling up to the pagoda. But you'll see we're now nearly 100 points ahead. In fact, we've jumped again, we've killed that IS-7. And all I'm doing is stopping them from capping B, and that's the whole reason why I'm still in this diabolically tough position. And it's not a position where I'm going to do a lot of damage, but it is a position where we're going to win the game. And that's what Supremacy is about. Supremacy is not about doing huge damage, although it does happen. Supremacy is about winning the game. And you'll see I tracked that T95. I wasn't doing damage for him because tracking him ensures that he's taken some form of module damage and it resets the cap. And that is far more important than taking 350 off his hit point pool. But we do that anyway there. We hit him with Hesh that time to make sure that we do actually do damage. And you can see they're trying to get to these caps, but we're just not letting them. It's the name of the game, and as you control the caps and they push up, they have to YOLO, because if they're a decent team, and these guys appear to be, then they know there's no other way to win this game. They have to YOLO or they are dusted. And now we've got 3 caps because they ran out of tanks and we had a gun advantage and someone just buggered off to cap C. And I'm dead, but I'd like to think I had an awful lot to do with that win. I capped the B and then I defended it against 2 separate different tanks and made sure that they didn't get a foothold back in the game at any point in time. That's one of the reasons I love Supremacy. I think Supremacy is a really fun game mode. A lot of people disagree with me, but if you learn to play it right and you learn to set yourself up in these really action-packed situations, you're going to have a ball. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You're bloody lovely. Thank you so much for bearing with me and sticking with the channel and subscribing. Tell your friends, tell your family, and tell them to come down and grab a bargain. And keep playing Blitz. It's a great game. Give it some time. If you don't love Supremacy, turn it off, flick the switch. That's fine. But if you do, I'll see you in there because I obviously like it a fair bit. You're idiots, I'm an idiot, we're all idiots, but together we make beautiful music. Stay safe, on the battlefield, and look after your family, and until next time, bye for now.